This is Fox 21 local news right now at 6 a.m.
Well, good morning. Welcome to Fox 21 Local News right now on this Friday. It's April 22nd. I'm Craig Coffey.
And I'm Abby Burke. Thank you so much for joining us live and local. Of course, with us, Chief Meteorologist Matt Meister. Good to see you this morning.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. We've been checking out the museum already.
Yeah.
We will give you some sneak peeks of exhibits and meet some Olympians through the day today, but obviously a real important day with the blood drive.
Yeah.
We're honored to be out here with USA Wrestling, and you can help us make a difference today. We'll tell you more about that as we head through the morning. But let's jump into weather, crew, because we do have a serious weather day on the way today. In fact, the most dangerous fire weather day in about 4 years on the way today. It is calm this morning with some breezy spots, but the wind is coming. We look downtown Colorado Springs, off to the north on Tejon from Tectum Roofing. You can see the wind right now light out of the south, 58 degrees, a very mild start to the day. On the Discount Motors Cam in Pueblo, you see the flags are blowing a little bit this morning. Wind running around 10 miles per hour as well. The humidity is already really low at 19%. We'll be in the single digits this afternoon as we get into the 80s and 90s for a lot of us east of the mountains, the warmest day so far this year. Both of those numbers would set records for the day, in addition to fire weather concerns with gusts between 45 and 65 miles per hour and maybe higher. Some areas of blowing dust as well could create some low visibility across the region. A lot to talk about. We'll do it coming up.
Thanks, Matt. Time right now, it is 6:01. In our top story, Governor Polis announced new legislation on how Colorado responds to COVID-19 in the future, and the goal to protect the state's economy and health through preparation for new surges.
One measure directs the Department of Safety to stockpile personal protective equipment in case of a national shortage. Another proposal focuses on developing provider wellness and support programs and helping people financially for credential programs like certified nursing assistants.
Now, there's also a bill which will require hospitals to create surge readiness plans and improve transparency on things like staffing as well as safety. And this plan comes after Polis announced his initiative called Colorado's Next Chapter, our roadmap to moving forward.
Also across Colorado, school leaders from multiple districts are coming together to keep students safe.
Yeah, the group joined the State Department of Public Safety on Thursday to announce new crisis guidelines based on training models in previous events. Now, unfortunately, we know here in Colorado all too well, we've had our share of school shootings, with the state experiencing 10, which started with Columbine.
Leaders who helped craft the guidance say they want every student in Colorado, from kindergarten to college, to know there are plans in place to keep them safe. They also want to make sure communities know this can happen to them. The group says Colorado is leading the way with this effort.
All right, now in court, new developments in the mental evaluation for Letitia Stout, who is the woman accused of killing her stepson, 11-year-old Gannon Stout.
Letitia reported Gannon as a runaway in January of 2020, but his body was found in Florida in a suitcase under a bridge months later. Stout recently entered a new plea of not guilty by reason of insanity, and the state hospital conducting Stout's mental evaluation told the court they think they can have the report finished by the end of May. Stout will be back in court in June.
All right, time now 6:03 on this Friday. Also developing right now are Pueblo police, who are asking for your help to find a wanted man in connection to a fatal car crash earlier this month.
Officers say 37-year-old Joshua Alvarado Shavira is wanted for vehicular homicide, leaving the scene of a crash, and other related charges. He's accused of rear-ending a Jeep near the intersection of Bonforce Boulevard and Highway 47 on April 1st.
Yeah, the driver of that Jeep, which was 76-year-old David Vogel, was ejected from the car and later died at the hospital. So again, Pueblo police are asking for anyone who might know where Shavira is to contact them or Crime Stoppers.
New this morning, as the Fountain community continues to grow, the city's police chief is announcing plans to improve Fountain's public safety and response times.
That's right. In a recent letter now, he said that city leaders expect to see a 40% more increase in residential homes in the city, which is about 17 to 23,000 more people than live here right now. And because of this, city officials are preparing for increased crime as more people use Fountains Roads, businesses, and parks, among other areas. So for a full look at this letter and how he thinks the city can best prepare for growth, just go to our website at FOX21News.com.
And the Colorado Springs Independent has cut ties with the Give campaign, which helps highlight and raise money for nonprofits throughout the Pikes Peak region.
Yeah, they say they're doing this because of the behavior of the Give campaign board members and that leaders of the campaign no longer adhere to Indie Give original tenets and missions.
The Give campaign responded on Facebook saying, quote, "We are the same leaders and volunteers who built a reputation for integrity since Give became an independent nonprofit in 2016. They added, "We are committed to fostering a productive and safe workplace for our staff, board members, and volunteers."
Okay, right now we have a closer look at the damage from the destructive fire in Monte Vista, which burned 17 acres.
The city says about 15 buildings are a complete loss and 6 families are displaced. At this time, there is no indication that this fire was intentionally set. We are told that there are still some hot spots, but the fire is in the cleanup phase.
And now next, fire crews are currently working to contain a fire in Chaffee County, which is burning on federal public lands near Granite and Cache Creek, just south of Leadville.
Crews hiked to the area and worked the fire until about 10 o'clock Thursday night and will continue containment this morning. So far, it's burned just more than 4 acres, and the cause has not been determined.
Also continuing our fire coverage now in new this morning, many experts now are offering their thoughts on the biggest factors for wildfire causes, and they did rule out cigarettes.
In fact, since 1980, the U.S. Forest Service says those types of fires have gone down by 90%. Colorado's Division of Fire Prevention and Control says there are a list of things, though, that you might be doing that can cause a wildfire, like agricultural burning, building a campfire, or any kind of open burning. With high winds, the embers could blow over into dry cracks.
Yeah, right now they urge people to avoid any chore or activity which involve fires or hot machinery near dry grass. And again, like Matt's been talking about, especially today and tomorrow.
Need to be very careful out there. In military news, the Air Force Academy says it has a new timeline for the Cadet Chapel renovation project.
Just keeps going and going and going. This national landmark has been closed for years now, and as crews work to renovate the structure, which was supposed to be finished by 2023, but problems with asbestos pushed completion back to late 2026. So after restoration work is complete, the chapel will still not be open to the public until all artifacts and furnishings are reinstalled. So now it looks like the earliest it will reopen is late 2026 or early 2027. And we have more information about the work in progress right now. It's on our website. And again, that's at FOX21News.com.
Time right now is 6:06, and it's not over till it's over, but it's pretty close to being over. After a 3-game skid, it's not looking good for the Denver Nuggets playoff hope.
No. On the way in sports, highlights, though, from Thursday night's home game in Ball Arena. As the Golden State Warriors, they are looking real good now. They take a big lead in the first round of this series. Plus, Matt's got your full forecast here. You don't want to miss what to expect. He is coming up next. We are live here at the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Museum downtown on a very special show. More coming up in minutes. Hang on.
Donating blood is important to our family because my son Dominic, as a newborn, he was in the NICU for 3 weeks and he had to have 3 blood transfusions while he was there. He was born 8 weeks early, and one of the valves in his heart didn't close, so they had to give him steroid injections, and then they were giving him blood transfusions to make sure everything was okay.
If I probably didn't get those transfusions, I probably wouldn't be where I am now, and I'm extremely grateful to, whoever helped me out, and I think just finding a way to pay it forward, maybe in that kind of a small way, just usually makes a huge difference later on.
You've got to take a leap of faith and trust those around you and give back to those who need it. And he's here today, so that's important to me.
Back here at the United States Olympic and Paralympic Museum, one of the things that I think is so cool is the interactivity of a lot of what you can do here, and I'm learning about wrestling right now, but one of the other things that is neat about the museum is sometimes you'll see an athlete walking around, a coach walking around, or in the case this morning, one of the executive directors of one of the organizations that drives the athletic events and the Olympic movement here in the United States. I'm joined now by Rich Bender, who is the executive director of USA Wrestling. Sir, thanks for being with us this morning.
It's my honor, Matt. My honor to be here today, for sure.
You are over here by a really cool exhibit. This is Rulon Gardner's signed singlet from when he won the gold medal, and he has a really, really amazing story like a lot of Olympians do.
Well, he sure does, and this is the singlet Rulon wore when he beat the famous Russian Alexander Karelin, who had never lost an international match in international competition, was going for his 4th consecutive Olympic gold medal in Sydney, and Rulon did the unthinkable and maybe pulled off what many think is the biggest upset. I mean, obviously there's a group of people who think that scoreboard represents a big upset too, but maybe the biggest upset in Olympic sports history when he beat Alexander Karelin and won the gold medal in Sydney in 2000.
And not only, I mean, obviously, probably the biggest moment of his life, but like a lot of Olympians, they have a really unique story of getting to that point.
Oh, he sure does. I mean, Rulon represents what's right with America. Just a hard-working kid, dairy farmer from the Star Valley in Wyoming, went on to be an Olympic champion, and actually followed that victory up with another gold medal the next year at the World Championships, where he beat the heir apparent to Alexander Karelin in the Russian system. They had said, well, Alexander Karelin's past his prime, and so they brought their next Russian, and Rulon pinned him in the finals in Greece the next year. So he backed it up with another gold medal the very next year.
That's right, validating his gold medal. One of the things that's cool about wrestling is it is sort of known as a gritty, hard-working, like blue-collar type sport. What does it mean to you to lead Olympic wrestlers in the United States?
Well, I'll tell you, it's an honor that I'm not worthy of, for sure. I've had the pleasure of being around this sport and the organization for over 3 decades now, but man, just an incredible honor. I mean, an organization that's built on respect, integrity, dedication, honesty, and a lot of the core values that make up USA Wrestling are those core values that many athletes use later in life to be successful.
Yeah, well, thank you for partnering with us on the Blood Drive today, for everything you do for the Olympic movement and for USA Wrestling. It's an honor to spend some time with you this morning and hear about one of the greats in USA Wrestling history.
Well, it's my honor, Matt.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Step up your game. We don't need to win.
I know, right? I'm putting in orders, my man. Yeah. They're not coming through. All right, let's transition to weather this morning real quickly here, because we do have big-time concerns today. A red flag warning and a high wind warning in effect through the day today. Here's what's going to happen. We will see wind develop over the mountains this morning and spread out across the plains as we head from the late morning into the afternoon. Strongest gusts that could be over 70 miles per hour over some of the mountain areas, especially in the afternoon, will impact us along the Front Range and the plains, with gusts between 45 and 65 miles per hour, maybe higher than that. One of the concerns with the ongoing drought is the potential for explosive fire growth off to the north-northeast today. So, my friends, if you see smoke or especially flames off to the southwest of you, be ready to move today. I am going to go with a 0 on the Meister-Neister, as we'll have some blowing dust out there as well, and it is just not going to be a great day to be outside, and that's just the honest truth. We will be a little bit cooler tomorrow. We'll still be windy behind a cold front. More fire danger concerns as we start the weekend. A second cold front may produce a stray shower tomorrow evening, but the best chance of at least a few showers comes Sunday afternoon and evening on a day where we may not hit 50 in Colorado Springs. This is a short-lived little bit of relief, though, from the fire danger. As you can see, by Wednesday and Thursday, we're back into the 70s and 80s, and the fire danger will continue. It's been about 4 years since we have had fire danger this high in terms of the weather components that are feeding into that today. So really, it is a day to be aware, my friends. Keep your head on a swivel and be ready to move if you need to. A fire in the wrong place today really could cause a disaster. So we'll talk more about that through the morning. Learn more about the Olympic Museum as well. Send it back over to you guys.
The Colorado Springs Switchbacks are right back on the road this weekend. You look at their schedule and think, 8 road games in a stretch of 10 weeks? What in the world did we do to deserve that? So far, so good for the Switchbacks, though. 5 wins in 6 games, most recently a loss at home to Memphis 901. They're right back on the road with games in Tulsa and Oakland the next couple weekends. But so far, so good away from Widener Field. 3 victories in as many games.
The coaches do a great job in preparing us the right way, but the travel's tough no matter how you kind of put it. I mean, we were on the East Coast for 2 games in a row. Those are tough travels, and it's been a lot on the road, but you know, beginning in the season allows us to kind of bond as a team and build a lot of chemistry. So there's positives from it, but it is nice being home, and we can't wait to be home more in front and play in front of our fans.
And they will play on Saturday. Keep in mind, you can watch all Switchbacks games on the CW. And with a look at the Nuggets and Warriors, Game 3, here's Julia McGuire.
A disappointing night for the Denver Nuggets. Golden State now leads the series 3-0.
We gave ourselves a chance tonight. We didn't do that in Golden State. We put ourselves in a position late to beat a very good basketball team.
I don't think I've ever seen a coach in such high spirits after a playoff loss. But Michael Malone couldn't have been more proud of the effort his team gave in the 118-113 Game 3 loss to the Warriors.
We stayed with it. We got down. Things were getting away from us a few times. We stayed with it. We stayed together. We kept fighting. We battled. And you asked me pregame, what do I hope for? That's what I hope for.
Unlike Game 1 and 2, a 30-18 third quarter spurred the Nuggets to a 2-point lead entering the fourth. But an 11-2 run by the Warriors in the final 3 minutes kept the Nuggets from closing out the game.
And I felt offensively down the stretch, I felt we could have worked for some better looks. You know, we went to Nikola out of a timeout, give Draymond credit. You know, came out with the strip, big turnover.
The Warriors' backcourt dominated. Steph Curry, Jordan Poole, and Klay Thompson combined for 82 points. Nikola Jokic had 37, 18, and 5, and Aaron Gordon bounced back from his Game 2 performance with a double-double, 18 and 12.
I always felt like we should have won that game. You know, we were 2-1. It's a whole different series, but we're not done yet.
We had a great chance of pulling this game out. Just some mistakes towards the end that, you know, were very costly, but I wouldn't say anybody's excited about the results of the game. Yeah, it sucked.
Now Malone leaves one message with his team come Sunday's Game 4.
Are we going to roll over, or are we going to fight like hell and send this back to Golden State? That's my hope. If we fight like we did tonight, I'm going to walk off that court. I'm very proud of that group of guys in that locker room.
Reporting from Ball Arena, I'm Julia McGuire, Fox 21 Sports.
Julia, thanks. Time right now is 6:19, and we will be right back.
Yeah, live here today from the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Museum downtown for a very special show. But first now, Sarah, with what is coming up next.
Well, good morning. We are live and local for the Fox 21 Blood Drive with Vitalant and USA Wrestling. And just like the Miracle on Ice scoreboard, you can be a miracle in someone's life by signing up to donate today. We're going to tell you how right after this.
Welcome back to the show. Your time right now, it is 6:23 on this Friday, looking live across Colorado. And this shot is sponsored by Navy Federal Credit Union.
Taking a live look at Glenwood Springs this morning, where it is looking nice and green there. Hoping for that to make its way this way.
We need it.
We could use some moisture.
Big time, yes.
Missing that green. Well, time right now is 6:23, and did you know that every 2 seconds someone needs blood? That's why all of us at Fox 21 are teaming up with Vitalant and USA Wrestling to host today's blood drive.
It's a pretty big deal, and right now Sarah joins us live and local inside a different part of the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Museum, talking now all about the need for donations. Sarah, good morning.
Good morning, Craig and Abby. We are talking right now with the lead phlebotomist of Vitalant here. Henry, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
No problem.
And so tell me a little bit about how you became a phlebotomist and why this is so important to you today.
Well, many years ago, I had a couple of friends of mine actually, who were in a car accident, and they were in dire need of some blood products. And that's when I did my first donation, which I was proud of myself for doing. And after that, I kind of realized exactly how important the need of blood was. And then my passion for people, and I feel that I'm doing a really good deed by being able to help the community and collecting the blood.
Great. And so before you were the lead phlebotomist here, you actually also worked at a hospital. So when did you start working here, and how has that kind of changed your life?
I started working here in 2015. How it changed my life is more of a interaction with a lot of the donors. I just grew more of a passion for people in general, being able to hear their life stories, ask them why they're donating, and hear their testimony as to why they want to donate.
Great. And if people are maybe a little nervous, they've never donated before, what can you say to kind of ease those nerves?
Get them to laugh, distract them. Distraction is the key. One of the things I do is if they're really extremely nervous and very apprehensive, I will talk to them a little bit, calm them down, explain the procedure to them. And as I'm getting ready to insert the needle, I will go ahead and have them look away. I will tell them something like, count the butterflies on the wall, how many flies do you see, or count the bricks, little things like that to keep them distracted. And then when I'm done, I'll ask them, well, how many butterflies did you count? And they start laughing like, I didn't even feel it.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. We're going to come over here to the Miracle on Ice scoreboard because it is such a great place to have this blood drive this morning. Joined right now by Tommy Shield with the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Museum. Tell us a little bit about this scoreboard and kind of its history.
Sure. So this is the Miracle on Ice scoreboard. So this hung at the Lake Placid Games when the U.S. beat the Soviets 4-3, and we actually have the time set at 3 seconds because that's when Al Michaels made his famous call, "Do you believe in miracles?"
Oh, well, we sure believe in miracles today, and you can be a miracle in someone's life by signing up to donate blood on fox21news.com/blood drive2022. Thank you so much, Tommy. We appreciate you.
Sure. Thanks for coming out.
Of course. Greg and Abby, we're going to toss it back to you.
Sarah, thanks so much. Henry has actually taken my blood twice.
Twice?
And very good.
Very gentle.
Oh, very gentle.
Did you count the butterflies?
No, I don't remember, so I must have been distracted somewhere.
Sarah seeing butterflies?
Yeah.
Wow, what's going on down there?
He does a great job, yeah.
Yes.
Thanks, Sarah.
So you recommend Henry if you get the chance?
I sure do.
All right. Tell him Abby sent you, right? Okay, thank you, Sarah. All right, time now it is 6:27. Well, who runs the world? Girls.
That's
right, yes. The world of wrestling now is more than just a sport for guys.
Women, there's a little bit different flair to it, right? And they bring a little bit different energy to it. But it's a good thing, right? It's what wrestling is needed.
Women's wrestling is growing at a record rate in the U.S., and there's no signs of it slowing down. Up next, what's bringing more women to the sport and the doors it is opening for them. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the show. Your time right now it is 6:31 on this Friday. Live today from the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Museum downtown. And what was, once only a boys' sport is no longer. In this case now, women are making their presence known in the world of wrestling.
Right now, women's wrestling is the fastest growing sport at the high school level in the nation. And more programs are being added at all levels.
There's definitely room in this sport for women.
Women are leaving the bleachers and coming down to the mat in record numbers.
When we first started, we had 3 states that were sanctioning the sport of women's wrestling or girls wrestling at the high school level. Today we have 34 states.
And much of that growth has happened in the last decade.
At the college level, when we first started back in 2002, we had 5 college programs for women's wrestling, and today we're at 117. But if I go back to like 2014, my records show that we had 20 college programs in 2014. So it was significant growth, right? Almost 100 more programs in the last 8 years at the college level.
Coach Steiner says there's several reasons for the newfound popularity, but
Number one, I think we have heroes.
In 2016, Helen Maroulis won the United States' first Olympic gold in women's wrestling. And since 2012, the U.S. has been in the top 3 in the world, behind China and Japan.
I am a 6-time world champion, which I am the first American to be able to have that successful title, which is pretty awesome.
Adeline Gray won a silver medal at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, and her teammate Tamara Mensah-Stock became the first black woman to win gold for USA Wrestling.
We have heroes right here now, and we have heroes that these young girls are looking up to and can aspire to be like, so that's a huge part of it.
Steiner says even if they don't go on to compete on the world stage, lessons learned on the mat will help women wrestlers for the rest of their lives.
You will see a different confidence level. You will see a different work ethic and a different structure. You will see an individual that knows how to deal with adversity head on.
It's such an amazing ability to tap into the strength that you have within yourself, because it is a challenge to go out there one person versus one person and fight.
Gray said wrestling opened up a whole new world for her.
I think my biggest life lesson I've gotten through this sport is that there's more opportunities than we've ever even thought about dreaming about.
They can get scholarships, college scholarships. They can get their school paid for. There's a lot of great things that they can gain from the sport of wrestling.
Well, Team USA is not government funded. Team USA is not government funded, and rather it is funded by corporate sponsors and private donors. So to learn more or to get involved, check out usawrestling.org.
And we are here now with women's national team head coach Terry Steiner, who is telling us now why involvement in this blood drive today is important for him and USA Wrestling as a whole. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here today. Now, we understand you're going to give blood today. You were actually in the chair. We ripped you out of the chair, got you up here to talk to you. Why did you decide to do this today?
Well, I just think it's an easy way to give back, right? And there's so many people in need, and it's a very simple way that we can offer that.
As we mentioned in the story, women's wrestling is growing by leaps and bounds over the last few years, especially. Where do you see the sport in the next 5-10 years?
Well, hopefully it continues to grow. Right now we have emerging sports status at the NCAA level, and hopefully we move that to championship status. At the NAIA level, at the college level, that just got moved to championship status, so that's a great step for us. And hopefully we're at 34 states that are sanctioned, so I'd like to see us at 50 states. So hopefully we continue on this path that we're on.
So you're pretty accomplished, been in the sport for a long time. What is it about wrestling that you love?
I think it's that, it's the individual challenge of it. That it's like you can never quite get it right? You're always challenged to do better. But also I think the life skills it teaches, right? And I think, if there's one thing that I've gotten from the sport of wrestling over the years is it's taught me how to deal with adversity. So I feel like no matter what happens in my life, and life is tough, right? And bad things happen. And I think it teaches you to climb over those obstacles and get through those. So I think for a young kid, to put a young kid in this sport, they're going to be better equipped to handle life afterwards.
So obviously a great sport for boys or girls, but as you're trying to grow the females program, if there's a girl out there watching this, or maybe a school that wants to, hey, we want to start a program, what's the best way for them to go about getting involved?
Well, I would say there's clubs in every state and in every community. There's wrestling clubs. So I would say, you can go to the USA Wrestling website. You can find a club in your area, get involved. And, at the high school level, if you're trying to start a program, call us at USA Wrestling. We can help you, get you the information and how to help better start. We kind of have a package on how to go about doing that.
Hey, quickly, what should parents know about getting their kids involved in this program, in wrestling, in the sport?
Again, I think it's such a great sport and a teacher of life skills, and that's really what we want sport for, right? One thing is to win medals, the other thing is to equip people for life, right? And that's really what it's about.
All right, so how can people help now, of course, with donations, but what does that do for you with donations?
Well, as you stated earlier, USA Wrestling and the U.S. Olympic Committee is not government funded.
Right.
We're fully supported by private donation and corporate sponsorship. So if you feel that this is a great cause, we'd be happy to help you as a part of the team.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, best of luck to you and all the team, and thank you for donating this morning, and thanks for being here with us. Time right now is 6:37. We're going to toss it over to Chief Meteorologist Matt Meister and find out where he's at now.
Yeah, thank you, Craig and Abby. We are on the pedestrian bridge outside of the Olympic Museum. It takes you over to America the Beautiful Park, but I'm here with a friend right now. You may have seen the ridiculous promo of me in the USA Wrestling singlet, but I was wrestling someone. This is Jared Van Fleet. He is a wrestler at the United States Air Force Academy and graduating next month. Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been a great experience the past 4 years. Learned a lot, and it's definitely going to make me into a better man for it. So,
how was your experience in filming that promo with me? Because you were giving me the business a little bit during that.
Yeah, no, I was definitely taken back, but you were a good sport about it, so I appreciate that, yeah.
Well, we appreciate you taking a little bit of time out of your busy schedule at the Academy to help us get the word out about this. And you're donating blood this morning, so thank you for doing that, and good luck to you, and thank you for your service, Jared. We appreciate it. Let's jump into our weather forecast here, crew. We'll start you off with the WireNut Home Services 3-degree guarantee partnership between WireNut and Fox to benefit our community. This month, we are supporting Special Forces Foundation and the work they do for Green Berets and their families. Yesterday, I forecast 76. It was 76, so we're donating more money, and we are honored to do that. Quick look at Pet Picks this morning, brought to you by Furry Friends. This is it.